World-class prospectors don't boil the ocean. World-class prospectors are intentional with who they're reaching out to, when they're reaching out, why they're reaching out, and what they're saying.
The ideal way to think about timing is putting it into their perspective. And if you think about it in 3 tiers, the top tier is identifying the critical event. And this is defined as something that if the customer or prospect doesn't solve it by a specific date, something really bad happens to the business. And ultimately, on most prospecting calls, this is not easy to identify, but you should look out for it because when it does, it's amazing. What do we need to know about it?
A critical event is like, hey, we just got funding, we need a solution like yours by the end of Q3, help us get started. Right? Or they made an announcement in their 10K where this is an initiative that has to be done by the end of this quarter or year. That's a critical event where it has to occur by a certain date. But as we know in prospecting, those are rare. We wish for them, but we don't always get those. So critical event is one, but next we move to compelling event.
These ones are going to be a little bit more common. These compelling events are very interesting because it's something that you can do research on and categorize by similar personas. So for example, regionally, you may know that fiscal years start at different times of the year, like January in some places or July and August in others. Or if you're selling to schools and you know that their budgets typically close by the end of spring and not a lot of selling or buying happens through the fall when school is starting, you can start thinking about compelling events as reasons to reach out without necessarily tying it to something critical. What else do we need to know that world-class prospectors do that can really benefit how they prioritize their time?
The best place to start here are what we call triggers. So there's certain triggers that can happen in a prospect's world that help set up the conversation. Whether that is a new hire, right? There's a new VP in place. That would be a trigger at an account to reach out for. They got some funding. That would be a trigger. But you can go as detailed on this is they made a post about a topic that is close to yours, or a competitor made an announcement that is important for them to know about. These are triggers, meaning they're in time, but a reason to reach out. World-class prospectors have a reason to reach out. They are not just reaching out blind. But another very important trigger that a lot of prospectors, if they're at their best focus on, is engagement. Are they opening your emails? Are they clicking your emails? Are they visiting your website? Are they downloading your content? Those are also engagement-based triggers as a reason to reach out.
Triggers are all about finding the right message at the right time. You can have the best pitch in the world, but if it's not resonating with your client based on what they currently care about, it's going to fall on deaf ears. So using the engagement score can be a powerful way for you to start thinking about prioritizing your business. What are some ways to do that?
If I'm looking at the best use of a prospector's time, obviously critical event. If you can find it, great. But don't spend a lot of time trying to find it. If you can't find it quickly, it means it's not there. Compelling event, that shows your industry knowledge. What's coming up? But where I really try to focus my prospectors on engagement. Who's engaging? Because that is where you want to spend some extra time. Would you rather personalize an email to someone who's never opened an email or someone who's opened 2 of your emails? Would you rather call someone who's never engaged with you or clicked on a link that you sent in your email? Prioritizing off engagement is where I encourage people to start because that is a signal. There's some level of intrigue there. There's some level of curiosity there that's warming up your outreach to them and showing you who's maybe worth giving a little bit of extra attention to.
What you can do right now is start looking for the types of clients and prospects that are engaging with you. If you don't have any tools to use this, you can use something as simple as who's replying to your emails, or if you can see who's opening or clicking on links in your emails, use that as engagement score. If you're reaching out on LinkedIn, when they connect with you and it's successful, that can be a great trigger to reach out. And for some companies that are using engagement throughout their CRM or using other tools, make sure you're leveraging the data and not just relying on what you think the best customers are to reach out to.